I didn't think I was going to be touching on this topic again so quickly. However, things have happened that I feel like I need to talk about, things that I have opinions about. So we're going to do that today. A sequel, if you will, to my concert culture video. The previous video I did about concert culture was kind of more about corporate greed, about Ticketmaster, about money, about the man. Today we're going to be talking a little bit more about individual behavior from people and of fans, because I didn't really touch on that a lot in my last video. The one thing that I did want to kind of specify at the beginning of the video, because I got a lot of comments about this on my last one. When I'm talking about big arena shows, I am coming at it from the perspective of somebody who has been to arena shows, but that not being what I mostly see. Like, most of the concerts that I go to are small independent shows, local bands. I have gone to arena shows, obviously. I have been to festivals, both small and large. I just wanted to clarify that before I had anybody in my comments being like, oh, you should go to small shows. I'm like, I do. You don't have to remind me. But that video was more about like the larger mainstream industry and how that kind of affects really everyone who wants to see live music, whether it's people who want to go see big pop acts at stadiums or people who want to go see smaller touring bands at places like the Showbox at the Market. It affects the entire industry. One thing that I did see, and I was a little bit frustrated with some of the comments, and I know that most of the people who made these comments are not people who like have followed me for a while, kind of having the idea of, well, pop music is just like that, and it's your own fault for liking pop music, and giving this like, my taste is superior sort of attitude. Because somebody likes pop music, they shouldn't have the ability to be able to see them live without costing them a literal arm and a leg. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's a good attitude to have. Obviously encourage people to go see smaller shows, and obviously encourage people to kind of get involved in their local scene if there is one, help start one if there isn't one. I will always be somebody that encourages that because it's been what I've been doing for 15 years. But the fact of the matter is, people who like pop music and people who maybe liked bands from when they were younger, and then those bands go on tour as they get older, i.e. My Chemical Romance, which we're going to be talking about a lot in this video, saying that that's just the way it is and, you know, it's your fault for liking big bands. No, not my favorite. I grew out of that. I got older and I grew out of that. Every concert goer, every live music lover, everyone has every right to go see a band they don't know about. I've been seeing more people these days talk about, oh, well, I went to this show, I didn't really know much about this band, blah, blah, blah. I will always be someone that encourages that because I've done that, again, for years. Some of my favorite experiences discovering bands have been in live settings. Phenomena, Typhoon, Animal Collective. I saw Animal Collective at Sasquatch for the first time. Oh my god, I had no idea what was happening. But I sat there at the Gorge and I was like, this is amazing. So I will always encourage for people who have the means to go do that. However, if you go to a show, if you go see a band that you don't know a whole lot about, whether that's you're going with somebody who knows more about them, or you saw someone on TikTok talking about them, and then you see that they're coming to a venue near you, and you're like, oh, I want to go see this band. If you want to go do that, fine. But then when you show up and maybe it's not something that's your cup of tea or not something that you expected, even though what a band does at a show and what an artist does at a show is exactly what they've always done, you don't get to complain about that. You don't get to come out here and be like, well, this emo band, I don't want this to get political. These guys are weird. Why come? Why show up if you're not going to have an open mind? Or why show up and then post about how completely ignorant you were to what a band was about and then just show up and have a bad attitude? Because I've been seeing a lot more people with bad attitudes online showing up to concerts of bands that they don't know a whole lot about and then being like disgusted, complaining about it, standing there just like, this is weird, this is cringe. No, we're not doing this again. By all means, show up to a show of a band that you don't know a whole lot about. Because if I told you not to, if I said that you're not allowed to, that's giving like name 5 songs from that band that you're wearing a t-shirt of. No. But if you get there and it's more than what you bargained for, you don't get to insult the band and the fans. Not cool. Not cool. Most recently, My Chemical Romance, they've been on tour for the Long Live the Black Parade tour that has been long awaited, that has been so hyped up, that I tried to get tickets for and failed. I saw people who wanted to get tickets for and got to see them, and I'm so happy for everyone who did. And this was the one big show that was a lot of money that I was like, damn, I'm kind of sad that I missed it, because a lot of the other ones that I talked about in the previous video weren't necessarily shows that I was like clamoring to get to. It was just ones that I'd seen people talking about it online. But MCR kicking off in Seattle, which apparently was like their longest set ever played, which like, I'm okay, I'm fine. They were the MCR that everyone wanted, the MCR that everyone expected, the band that we all grew up loving and continue to love. And guess what? They got political. Oh no! Oh no, the emo band that was started because the lead singer literally saw 9/11 and felt inclined to make music to deal with the trauma. Oh no, that band got political? Color me shocked. Literally, when I saw people being like, My Chemical Romance got political, like, I don't want to be part of this. You should be embarrassed. Since they kicked off their show in Seattle, you have a lot of conservative posers mad that they got political, mad that they brought out a podium, this whole very theatrical, very political display.
Right now, we're gonna try an experiment, maybe a practice of democracy. One side says yay. The other side says nay. You'll see our 4 candidates for election. You will get a chance to vote them in or out of office. Seattle, are you ready? Who rejects these individuals and does not want to elect them, say nay. Up, all around. Let me see the black if you disagree. All together, yays and nays, up at the same time. Yay and boo! Let me hear you. There's a lot of fucking red. Ready? Set. Fire!
Tell me you don't listen to My Chemical Romance without telling me you don't listen to My Chemical Romance. Because people started saying that they're gonna sell their tickets to the future shows because they don't want to be a part of, what did they call it? Weird demonic. They don't want to be a part of the onstage weird demonic execution stunt. Oh my God, we're going back to Satanic Panic. What year is it? There was one TikToker that I saw with the caption, my discernment actively trying to make sense of this theatrical propaganda. Why did you come to a My Chemical Romance concert, ma'am? Now that's your own fault. If you show up to a punk show of any kind and don't expect some level of politics, because newsflash, punk is inherently political. Again, shocking. I'm a little bit sad that the first gig was in Seattle because now I don't have the chance to buy up the tickets from the weird posers who are now going to sell their tickets because they don't want to be a part of a demonic stunt. Sell your tickets, please, because you don't deserve to be there. If you're going to show up to a show of a very well-beloved emo band that is now going on tour for the first time in years, and you're going to show up and like be a judgmental bitch, you can leave. You don't deserve to be there. And this topic actually, my Twitch followers, my Twitch viewers helped me kind of develop the idea, brought up the idea, and I was like, oh my God, that would actually be great to tie into this other stuff, because this reminded me a lot of a few months ago when Green Day played Coachella. Coachella historically has a terrible crowd, especially for like rock bands. Any video I've ever seen of a rock band of any age, usually the older guys, anytime I see them playing at Coachella, the crowd looks sad and depressing. But a few months ago, Green Day played, and you know, Green Day, the punk band from the 90s that famously put out a rock opera criticizing the Republican Party and George W. Bush, the Republican president at the time, especially of his involvement in the Iraq War. That Green Day played songs off of that album, as they should. In recent years, they've been changing some of the lyrics off of American Idiot, where before it was, I'm not a part of your redneck agenda. He's now changed it to, I'm not a part of your MAGA agenda. Since Billy Joe started doing that, you have fans online saying like, oh, I miss when Green Day wasn't political. I don't want politics in my Green Day. Green Day? People who say that shit look like such losers. That's the thing that I think every time, and I'm like, wow, what a loser. Like, you've not been listening to a thing that they've been saying for decades. If you're going up there and you're mad that Billy Joe Armstrong of Green Day is getting political, you haven't listened.
Running away from pain like the kids from Palestine. Just from our love broken.
Like, there's no Green Day that isn't political, losers. There's no My Chemical Romance that isn't political. And you know what else this reminds me of? People have been getting mad about Rage Against the Machine being political. What machine did you think they were raging against? Random angry man on the internet that wears the exact same sunglasses in his Twitter profile picture? You know the ones. What machine have they been raging against? A microwave? A refrigerator? A dishwasher? Seeing people complain that a band that part of their entire thing is politics, it's embarrassing for them, and also makes me feel really smart, because I'm like, wow, no, I actually get it. I get it. Because you'll see people shit talking on the internet and like literally getting into it with Tom Morello, and seeing Tom Morello clap back at stupid fans online is one of the funniest things. Because not only is he like fucking sharp as hell, but he also studied political science at Harvard and has a BA in social studies from Harvard. The man knows his politics. And it's so fucking funny to see people try and argue with Tom Morello. You see these guys online who probably idolize him, probably listened to his music growing up, but didn't actually listen to the lyrics, being eviscerated by their idol, by their hero. Oh my God, it's so sweet to see every time. Especially right now with the My Chemical Romance of it all, you have a lot of people reheating insults from when we were kids, calling it weird, calling it cringe, calling it embarrassing, calling you just all these names, and just having this attitude, the same attitude that, like, I don't know, the like preppy kids had in high school that would shit talk and make fun of the emo kids for the same reasons. They're just grown up. Like, the bullies have just grown up into adulthood, and that's what they're doing now. And it's frustrating, because it's like, if you're the ones who are calling MCR and calling their fans weird and cringe, it's clearly not for you. So why go? Seeing people go to these shows because the bands are getting more virality online, or seeing people, they heard like a single song and they're like, oh, I like that song. And then they show up with no prior knowledge, and then they're like hit in the face with something that they didn't expect. It would have taken very little amount of research to kind of understand the shtick, you know, like very little research. And honestly, like, I feel like so much of that attitude comes from Gen Z's kind of obsession with not being perceived as cringe, with not being looked at as like weird and cringy. That results in a lot of just like kind of nonchalantness. If you're not going to enjoy yourself, you don't have to be there. I will say, this is a topic that I've seen some other people talk about recently. I mean, we've seen videos, very small videos online, go very viral to the point where people are like getting doxxed for the stupidest reasons. People are just recording strangers without their permission. So I get like not wanting to like be in public and like do anything that could be taken in a way where somebody was like, yeah, I'm gonna record this loser. Like, people are awful right now. People are terrible right now. Just recording people in public for no reason and then posting it online. It's like, whatever happened to just posting videos of yourself online? Like, whatever happened to that? Why are we filming other people in public? So I get, to some degree, the hyper awareness in not being perceived as cringe, but it doesn't make a show a really fun time when you're showing up constantly thinking about like how other people are going to see you. It's like, the point of going to see a band, especially a band like My Chemical Romance, is to go and experience the music and experience the performance with all the people around you who are just as much in love with the music and in love with the band as you are. And that's how it should be. It sucks that a lot of people have made that harder. It's like this era of social media surveillance, which is a little nerve-wracking, not gonna lie, kind of scary. It is kind of up to us as a social media landscape to kind of maybe try to right those wrongs, try to right this ship away from people just like filming people in public for the sake of making fun of them. Why are we doing that? I would hope that like MCR crowd, like the actual fans, wouldn't really want to do that. They would just be there to really experience the band and be filming the band or filming themselves. And also recently, this is slightly different, but also very much in the same kind of idea. Kesha, who I love. I'm a millennial. Of course I love Kesha. Kesha, who is on tour right now and playing out all of these songs. And it's like really, really cool getting to see Kesha out there and seeing people who grew up listening to her really going and being able to experience her in this era of her really, really being like free and herself and being able to do everything that she always wanted to do. I would love to go see Kesha live. That'd be awesome. I don't know how much money I would be willing to pay, but like it would be so fun to go see Kesha. Obviously, like I'm like, oh my God, like I remember her from college. Like her music was like really big when I was in college, when my sister was in high school. Like it was definitely very much like early adulthood music for me. But a lot of people who are a bit younger, like that was their childhood. And she's on tour right now, and there's been some videos, some discourse, not as much about Kesha as about My Chemical Romance, but she played a show in Utah. I'm like, why are you showing up to Kesha if you don't want to have like a fun party where there's lots of outfit changes? Why are you there? Like if you're gonna go and you don't know a lot about the music, fine, awesome. Like I said, I love doing that. It's one of my favorite things to do. But why complain about it? It's so embarrassing to show up to a Kesha concert and be like disturbed by the Kesha-ness of it all. What? You look so silly. Everybody's pointing and laughing at you in the comments. Part of it was people who were like afraid of being cringe, but also part of it was definitely people who were more conservative, like MAGA girlies, who were like disturbed by, I don't know, Kesha, because she's always been very pro LGBTQ. So you probably have these like fucking conservative posers in the comments showing up, not knowing anything about Kesha, and then complaining about it. And it's like, what? Why? Imagining the outfits that people were wearing, like putting together stuff from their closet. Oh my God, that would have been so much fun. And the problem is that you have all these like younger Gen Z who are like just finding out about Kesha like later in life and not knowing her history. Like they're afraid to be silly and goofy, and they don't really know how Kesha started. Like they weren't there. Like they weren't there when it was written. It kind of sucks seeing people just be afraid to be silly and goofy, because as somebody who has been posting videos online for over 10 years, there's many videos from early on in my YouTube career that are very cringe that I look at and I'm like, wow, what a goofy gal I was. Do you know what I love? Soup. You're gonna bark at me right now while I'm filming a video? Today is Barbara Day! But the older I've gotten and the more I've left behind a lot of these kind of hipster attitudes, the older I've gotten, I'm like, you know what? Everyone younger than us been calling millennials cringe. To be cringe is to be free, okay? It sucks that there's this new era of people filming strangers and posting them online just to dunk on them. That is awful. What we need to do is kind of like fix that from the inside and like call somebody out, like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this is weird. We need to just start calling that out for what it is, weird behavior, because you're ruining it for everyone. That's the thing, is that you have fans who are showing up for performative reasons, who are ruining the vibes, and then the people who make other people afraid to even enjoy their time, ruining that for them. There are so few things that bring people joy that is a universal experience than live music of some sort. You have so many genres, you have so much music in the world, and as somebody who has been seeing live music since I was 20, well, I mean, technically the first concert I went to, like, by myself without my parents was a radio show, Deck the Hall Ball in 2004. It was 21 years ago. Holy shit. Snow Patrol, The Shins, Keen, Franz Ferdinand, The Killers, and Modest Mouse. I went because I was really excited to see the Killers, because I was really, really into Hot Fuss. I was playing the hell out of it. Franz Ferdinand knocked my socks off. I had only listened to a little bit of their music, and I was like, wow, these guys are awesome. And I liked them better than the Killers. Live music is something that even in like the darkest of times, at least in my life, like I can literally remember specific shows I went to after terrible elections and terrible world events. I remember those things. Live music really is one of those things that when the vibes are right, it can make everything disappear. You're just there with the crowd, you're just there experiencing a band, and if it's a band that you've loved for a really, really long time, oh my god, it's one of the greatest experiences you could ever have. And so it's really sad to see people who are younger than me being afraid to really let that experience like take over because of all these outside influences and all of these fucking posers showing up and ruining their time, and other people also showing up and filming people ruining their time. A lot of times, the people who really identified with bands like My Chemical Romance and Green Day, they weren't the ones that were into pop music as kids, and they were also the ones that were maybe getting made fun of for the music that they liked when they were kids. Seeing some of that rhetoric come back as adults, I'm like, no, we're not doing that. And all of this really kind of does go back to people going to shows for the wrong reasons. And I say the wrong reasons as like kind of a broad, vague thing, because they're really like, you can go to a concert for any reason, you know? Like, I'm not going to tell you, you have to know this many songs to be able to go, and you have, like, I'm not going to do that. Like, if you don't want to do any research, go for it, you know? Fucking have at it. But don't come crying to me when the band you know nothing about gives a kooky little spiel on a podium all dressed in like black military uniforms on a tour literally called Long Live the Black Parade. Honestly, what did you expect when you showed up to that? You played yourself. You either do more research or you open your mind up. And sometimes if you go into a concert that you don't know a whole lot about with a really open mind, you can learn something, and you can like, it can literally open your mind. You could be given a message via music that you maybe never really connected with in any other written form, and then you see somebody experiencing this, and you see a band telling you something and giving you a message via music, and you're like, well, fuck. I never thought about it that way. I never want to take that experience away from somebody. But you have to go into those situations with an open mind. And if you're not going to go in with an open mind, sell your tickets and let somebody else go, and leave the elder emos alone. I would like to know your thoughts in the comments down below, because I've just seen a lot of this rhetoric, like especially recently. A lot of it I think does also kind of tie back to lack of media literacy with certain demographics of people just not really comprehending what music is actually about. But God, when people go to a punk show and they're like, what, this punk band is political? Yeah, no shit. That's kind of the whole thing. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about this again because I had thoughts, and I know my last video about concert culture got a lot of views, and I had more things to say about it. Go check out that video if you haven't. By the way, today's song of the day, let me pull up my phone. My favorite band in the whole wide world, We Are Scientists, who I've seen probably like 14 times, maybe 15, over a dozen times, but less than 20. Like, how many times? They put out a new album last week from me filming this, and it's called Qualifying Miles, but they actually also just announced gigs for the 20-year anniversary of With Love and Squalor, which is like one of my favorite albums of all time that literally came out 20 years ago, and I feel very old. There's gigs that they have announced in the UK, and I'm like, do I do it? I don't know if I can do it. But your song of the day is the first song off that album, and it's actually really long. Like, they don't usually write songs that are like 5.5 minutes long, but the song is called A Prelude to What? I don't know why I said it that way, but A Prelude to What from We Are Scientists is your song of the day. I hope they play shows. I don't want to have to go to the UK. I don't want to have to do it. I told you guys, I'm not normal about my favorite band. Their gigs are also never over $40, and I will always be thankful for that. Let me know if there's other topics, especially about like pop music. There's like some topics that I don't really want to touch on just because it's like I don't have an authority on it. This I felt like I had some sort of authority on the matter. And I'm like, I've been going to shows for almost 2 decades. I have things to say. Let me know in the comments down below if there's topics that you'd be interested in hearing me talk about, because I always love feedback from y'all. And I hope you've been enjoying my Date Everything VODs. that has been really fun for me to upload and to play. But yeah, go follow me on Twitch if you want to see those live. That would be super cool if you like and would like to support me in any other way, because it's fun there and we have a good time. Reacting to the characters' dialogue live is one of the funniest things.
What kind of sports guy would I be if I didn't let you bat the old shuttlecock around for a little while?
He's a sports himbo. He's gonna appreciate the forwardness.
You don't have to bat it around. There's a lot of better things you can do with it.
I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. If you would like to follow me elsewhere, my links will be down in the doobly-doo. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!